A tragic Christmas Day accident kills dozens with dozens more injured. Some really bizarre evidence on this episode of Taking Off. Hi, I'm Dan Milliken and I'm reporting from holiday with the family and not in our studio. A horrible Christmas Day plane crash, eerily reminiscent of the United DC-10 crash in Sioux City. We'll take a look at what we do know at this early junction and what the major things investigators will be looking for in the upcoming hours and days. There's a couple of strange, bizarre circumstances in this horrible crash. The tragic accident occurred near Kazakhstan, where the Embraer E190 crashed 5 kilometers northwest of Aktau Airport. The aircraft, registered to Azerbaijan Airlines as 4K AZ65, is an elongated Embraer regional jet powered by 2 upgraded General Electric CF3410E turbofan engines, each rated at 18,500 pounds of thrust. These engines are significant in understanding the accident, as they appear to have played a big role. The ERJ-190AR is one of the 2 variants of the ERJ-190 series, the LR long range and the AR advanced range. The AR variant increases the maximum takeoff weight by 3,300 pounds and extends the range by 50 nautical miles or 300 nautical miles for the ERJ-195 variants. The ERJ-190 and 195 aircraft are capable of carrying up to 124 passengers in single-class configuration and 100 passengers in 2-class configuration. Before we get to some bizarre information on this flight, let's lay down the basics of what happened. The Azerbaijan flight departed Baku International Airport at 7:55 a.m. local time Christmas morning, bound for Grozny Airport in Russia. A flight typically lasts about an hour. However, low visibility conditions at Grozny prevented the aircraft from landing there. At 9:02 a.m. local time, Grozny Airport reported overcast clouds with a cloud deck at 800 feet and visibility of just over 2 statute miles and heavy fog. Grozny Airport is equipped with an ILS, an instrument landing system, on runway 26. They also have a GLS, which is a GBAS or ground-based augmentation landing system, and several RNAV GPS approaches for runways 8 and 26. And while the ILS and GLS approaches allow descent below the reported cloud deck, the RNAV approaches have higher minimum descent altitudes, and we don't know which one they are on, and this might have been a contributing factor in the reported decision to divert first to Makhachkala-Utash Airport that was on the coast. Kazakh media reports that the plane diverted to Makhachkala-Utash Airport, but conditions weren't much better there. But across the Caspian Sea in Kazakhstan, it was reporting much better conditions. It's unclear if the aircraft made it to the airport and attempted to land. We don't know that at this point. Most commercial airliners use the ILS system, which is considered to be a precision approach, and it can be taken to the lowest levels. This plane normally would be able to use the ILS system, and I'm not sure why at this point they decided to divert. It could be the heavy fog, that it was below their landing minimums, or whatever. The timeline might give a clue as well, which we'll get to in a moment. But the ADS-B shows only the first 30 minutes of the flight. So I'm not sure if something happened to the flight before any divert decisions were made. And that's one thing investigators will be looking at. Okay, let's get to the timeline. Remember, the plane took off at 7:55 a.m. ADS-B data shows the aircraft stopped transmitting at 8:25 a.m. before reappearing an hour and a half later, 10:07 a.m. over the Caspian Sea, squawking 7700, the emergency code. The recorded data revealed erratic altitude and speed changes as the aircraft diverted to Aktau Airport. Local media reports suggest that the flight crew experienced problems controlling the aircraft. And when you watch the video of the plane maneuvering, this is what reminds me of the United Airlines DC-10 that crashed in Sioux City. All the hydraulics in the plane had been severed by an engine blowout, and the heroic pilots could only steer the plane with the 2 remaining engines under the wings. The weather at Aktau Airport at the time of the accident was reported to be clear with temperatures around 28 degrees Fahrenheit, and winds were out of the east at around 10 knots, so the conditions were a lot better. However, the video does show an overcast layer of clouds in what appears to be at least several thousand feet above the airport, if not higher. All right, here's some of the bizarre evidence that we've gotten so far. Eyewitness accounts and social media footage have provided crucial details. Videos show the aircraft making erratic maneuvers, including significant changes in attitude and pitch, before crashing in a nose-down and right bank attitude. Some photos reveal what appear to be shrapnel holes in the fuselage, leading to the speculation about an engine explosion. Another critical photo shows the right rear access door where maintenance or an inspector might use to inspect the APU or the jack screw, that it was open mid-flight. And according to the Caspian Post and Armin Press, witnesses reported a bird strike on one of the engines, which may have led to an oxygen cylinder explosion on board. Photos from the aircraft's interior show shrapnel damage, holes in life vests, and injuries among the passengers. Oxygen masks are visible on the right side of the cabin and parts of the left side, suggesting that there was depressurization. On board the aircraft, you have several portable oxygen bottles located in the lavatories, and these are used for temporary oxygen for the crew or passengers in the lavatory at the time of depressurization. The oxygen masks commonly seen during depressurization are fueled by oxygen canisters through a chemical reaction. This avoids the necessity of having large backup oxygen tanks on board the aircraft to supply oxygen to the passengers. The E190 is reported to have up to 12 minutes of supplemental oxygen on board through these oxygen canisters. Now, whether or not one of the portable oxygen tanks did explode on board the aircraft will undoubtedly be one of the things that investigators will be looking at. Two other things that investigators will be looking at. Was it a bird strike that caused the engine to explode, sending shrapnel down the plane, impacting the horizontal stabilizer in the elevator, causing control issues? Or was it military in nature? And that panel that was opened under the tail, was that caused by whatever led to the damage in the tail section, or was it something else? These are critical things they'll look at. Azerbaijan Airlines has suspended its flights to both Grozny and Makhachkala in Russia pending the outcome of the investigation. The airline has also changed its social media banners to black as a mark of respect for those lost. Investigations are being led by Kazakhstan's Ministry of Transport alongside international aviation authorities. The focus will be on understanding the sequence of events leading to the crash, including the impact of GPS interference, possible mechanical failures, or external factors like the alleged shrapnel damage. Now, on to the video showing the accident. Here you can see the video of the aircraft as it dives toward the ground and then appears to recover. Moments later, the aircraft appears to be circling around to attempt to land at the airport. As the aircraft approaches the airport once again, the aircraft pitches dramatically downward and begins to bank to the right before striking the ground. And you can see from the ground track that there is a figure eight that they were doing. So I don't know if they were practicing trying to figure out how to maneuver this unmaneuverable plane. We're not going to show the actual crash, but there was fire with the aft section of the fuselage separating, and many of the survivors were rescued from this part of the airplane. After the crash, the fuselage was engulfed in flames. It was reported that there were 62 passengers and 5 crew members. Reports indicate that 29 survivors were taken to the hospital, while some reports indicate that there were 32 survivors, 11 of whom are in serious condition. The tail section of the aircraft can be seen in the video of the accident scene upside down but relatively intact. Tragically, both pilot and co-pilot lost their lives. The first responders arrived quickly at the crash site. Investigators will analyze videos, eyewitness accounts, and physical evidence to determine the cause of this devastating accident. The open cargo door, the reported engine bird strike, and the subsequent explosion are likely to be critical factors in their assessment. There are some on social media claiming the most likely cause of the accident was a Russian missile as part of their anti-air missile and drone system. Reports came out earlier stating that this occurred near recent strikes by Ukrainian drones. However, the closest reported confirmed drone strikes into Russia that we could collaborate were over 600 miles away from the accident location, over 500 miles away from Grozny. We can't make any such determination at this time whether Russian anti-air systems played a part, but official reports and witness statements appear to say otherwise. No matter what caused the accident, we extend our heartfelt condolences to the families and loved ones of those who lost their lives and wish a swift recovery to those that survived. Our thoughts are with everyone affected by this horrible tragedy. This is the 5th reported fatal accident involving an ERJ aircraft, and only the 3rd accident resulting in fatalities while in flight. The other 2 involved baggage handlers being sucked into a running engine, including the one that we just talked about on Sunday, which you can watch right here. That's the news on this Christmas Day, a sad one for the families that were affected. We wish all of you the best and a much safer and peaceful 2025. Remember, superior judgment trumps superior skills. Take care.